Trust me, Khaleesi.
There it is. Trust me.
Daenerys did not burn King's Landing because of one death. That's the easy version, the simple version, the version that makes the story feel cleaner than it really is. Missandei's execution mattered. It was brutal. It was public. It was personal. It took one of the last people Daenerys truly trusted and turned her death into a warning. But Missandei did not create Daenerys' final break by herself. Her death hit a woman already carrying years of betrayal, and that accumulated damage is what made the moment combust. That is the part that gets missed. Because by the time Daenerys is outside King's Landing, she is not just grieving Missandei. She is carrying Mira, she is carrying Xaro, she is carrying Jorah, Varys, and Jon. And when the final blow lands, it does not land on untouched ground. It lands on losses already layered, loyalty already shaken, and a woman already running out of ground. And that is what helps turn one execution into the final blow. Now, let's start right there. The mistake people often make with Daenerys is treating her final turn like it begins at the end. As if Missandei dies, bells ring later, and Daenerys changes out of nowhere. But she does not change out of nowhere. By this point, Daenerys has been shaped by repetition. Again and again, she is shown that betrayal can come from different places. From mercy, from alliance, from love, from politics, from blood. And that pattern starts early, before Westeros, before the throne, before the armies. It starts with Myrmidon's door. Daenerys believes she has saved Mira. She believes her protection means something. She stands between Mira and the violence around her and expects that mercy to create some kind of bond. But Mira does not see Daenerys as a savior. She sees the wife of the man whose Khalasar destroyed her world. That is what makes this betrayal complicated.
3 of those riders had already raped me before you saved me, girl.
Mira's pain is real. Her anger is real. Her life has already been shattered. But from Daenerys' point of view, the lesson is still brutal. She tries to save Drogo. She loses him anyway. She trusts Mira's knowledge, and she still wakes up to a child she never gets to hold. And when the truth is revealed, Daenerys learns something dangerous very early. Good intentions do not protect you from betrayal. That is the first wound. Not the whole story, but the first wound.
Then you shall return to me, my sun and stars.
Then comes Qarth, and Qarth gives her another version of the same lesson. Xaro Xhoan Daxos welcomes her.
Welcome to Qarth, my lady.
He flatters her. He offers comfort, access, and possibility. He presents himself as an ally at the exact moment Daenerys needs doors to open. But underneath the welcome is calculation. He wants proximity to her power. He wants what she carries.
But marry me and I will give you the 7 kingdoms.
And with Dorea, the betrayal cuts even closer because it's not just a stranger in a wealthy city. It is someone inside her circle. Someone close enough to know the vulnerable places. That is what Qarth teaches Daenerys. Hospitality can be strategy, alliance can be costume, and the people smiling beside you may only be waiting for the moment to take what they want from you. Again, betrayal lands. Again, Daenerys hardens.
Thank you, Xaro Xhoan Daxos. Thank you for teaching me this lesson.
Then there's Jorah. And Jorah is different because his betrayal rewrites the past.
You know I would die for you. I will never abandon you.
He is the man besides her when she has almost nothing. He protects her. He advises her. Watches her grow from a girl being moved across the board into a woman who starts moving pieces herself. That is why his betrayal cuts so deep. Because before Jorah is loyal, he is compromised. He spies on her, reports on her, feeds information back to the people who want her watched, controlled, or dead. So when Daenerys learns the truth, she is not only hurt by what he did, she has to now question everything that came before it. How much of his loyalty was loyalty? How much his protection was protection? How much of the man beside her was truly ever hers?
You betrayed me from the first.
That kind of betrayal does not just damage the present, it contaminates memory.
Don't ever presume to touch me again or speak my name.
And even though Jorah later proves his love, the wound still belongs to her story. One of the first people Daenerys truly allowed close had already lied before she understood the full game around her. That becomes one more layer. People can love her and still deceive her.
Will you betray her again, Jorah the Undul? Will you betray her again?
So by the time Daenerys reaches Westeros, the betrayals feel less isolated. They start closing in because Westeros does not receive her the way she imagined. She arrives with acclaim, with armies, with dragons, with the belief that she is coming home. But the home she imagined is not waiting for her. The people do not love her. The lords do not trust her. The North does not welcome her as a liberator. And slowly, the dream begins to sour. That is where Varys matters. Varys does not betray Daenerys like Xaro does. His betrayal is colder, more political, more polished in moral language. He tells himself he serves the realm, and maybe he does.
I did what had to be done.
To keep yourself alive.
But from Daenerys' point of view, that does not soften the blow. It sharpens it. Because the moment she no longer fits his idea of the right ruler, his loyalty starts moving somewhere else.
You know them both. Tell me, who do you think would make a better ruler?
He knows what it means to whisper about Jon's claim. He knows what it means to question her fitness. He knows what it means to put another name beside hers. And for Daenerys, that is not just an advisor disagreeing. This is another person close to power deciding that her place is conditional, that her right to rule can be replaced the moment someone else looks cleaner to the room.
We both know what she's about to do.
Then comes Jon. And Jon is the most complicated fracture because Jon does not betray Daenerys like the others. He does not sell her out for wealth. He does not begin as a spy. He does not want her crown. But his truth becomes a threat to her future. That is the important distinction.
My real name is Aegon Targaryen.
Jon's parentage changes the board. He has a better claim. He has the love of the people she wants to rule. He has the kind of belonging in Westeros that she cannot manufacture.
He's little, but he's strong.
And once that truth is out, Daenerys is no longer just fighting Cersei for the throne. She is fighting the possibility that even victory will not make her secure. That is what Jon represents in her final unraveling. Not just love, threat. Because his existence undercuts the story Daenerys has built her entire life around. And when he pulls away from her emotionally, it lands inside a much larger collapse.
All right then. Let it be fair.
So, finally, when Missandei is taken, Daenerys is already standing on cracked ground. Because Missandei is one of the last pure attachments Daenerys has left. Not political, not strategic, not conditional, not tied to a claim. Outside of Grey Worm, Missandei is one of the only people left Daenerys trusts completely. And after years of betrayal, that matters. She is still connected to the purest version of Daenerys' mission. The part of Daenerys that wanted power, but believed that power could free people. That part that believed the throne was not just something to take, but something she could use to break chains. So when Cersei executes Missandei, Daenerys is not only losing a trusted advisor and friend, she is losing one of the last people who still reflects her back to herself as something more than a threat, more than a claimant, more than a foreign invader. And Cersei makes it public. That is what gives the moment its cruelty. Missandei is not killed quietly. She is put on display. Her death becomes theater, a message to Daenerys. And when Missandei says Dracarys, the word lands like grief, permission, and inheritance all at once.
Dracarys!
But that word does not create the fire from nothing. It strikes the pile. That is the point. Missandei's death becomes the spark because so much damage is already waiting to burn. That is why the simple reading is too small. It was not just the beheading, it was the accumulation. Then Missandei dies. And the point is not that this explains everything Daenerys does next. It does not. The city still burns. The innocent still suffer. The choice still belongs to her. But Missandei's death does not happen in a vacuum. It hits years of combustible weight Daenerys had already been carrying while taking one of the last people who still made her power feel connected to a greater purpose. And that is what helps turn one execution into the final blow. Missandei did not start the fire. She was the final spark in a story that had been building pressure for years. And once that spark hit, everything Daenerys had been carrying finally caught fire. So that leaves one real question to ask. Of the two, what broke Daenerys deeper? The ones she lost or the ones that betrayed her most? What's your take on this? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're curious for more, click the video on your screen to watch the next breakdown now. This is Thrones and Ladders. Every climb has a cost, and in the Game of Thrones, power always collects.